Welcome to the Born in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, as always, I'm hanging out with Mike.
Hello.
Claire.
Hey.
Pete.
Hello.
Today we're going to take you through the worst jobs in history. You think you've got a shitty job?
Yeah, I've done some shit jobs in my time, but nothing I've done compares to these.
Yeah.
Yeah, even mine's not that bad. Right, is sound cloud working? Have we got algorithm?
Probably not.
Let's check. Nope.
No, we haven't.
Thank you for listening,
Thanks
guys.
for listening, everybody. We haven't got the list. Alright, shall we start off with the Romans? Vomit collector.
Do you know what? I've done that for a living.
Collecting
I
vomit.
worked at Cardiff Airport, so the departure lounge and the arrivals lounge, but more so the departure lounge. There was always vomit in the toilets. Always
toilet?
on the floor or by bins.
Well, you're not
outside.
collecting it though, are you?
No, not literally, but it felt like it sometimes.
Well, while it's a myth that the ancient Romans had dedicated rooms for regurgitating food, it was common practice to vomit in order to consume more at the feast, and also to show that it was nice. If you didn't vomit, it was seen as bad manners. You haven't eaten
You're not
your food.
eating enough, yeah.
You're not eating enough. If you don't vomit, you haven't eaten enough, you don't have the food.
Yeah, but normally if you vomit, it's because the food's nasty, isn't it?
You'd make yourself
Make
vomit.
it room for more food.
Or
That's
you
all
make-
they were
yeah.
doing.
Many individuals would throw up into a special receptacle or simply on the floor.
Like a classy bird.
Yeah. And of course, this would require the services of a vomit collector who would clean it up. Not really so much of a job. I'd imagine a slave did this, and well, yeah,
One of
In
the
Roman
aspects.
times, I'd have thought so.
and they're just prisoners with jobs rather than employed people.
Yeah, that'll just be one of the aspects of the job, won't it?
Yeah, you're on vomit duty tonight.
Oh man.
But again, like Pete says, it's a job that's still needed today.
In a roundabout way.
Oh, taking the sick bags off the planes, that'd be a crappy job.
Cleaning up at the end of a nightclub.
Cleaning up the toilets after any festival.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much the same job, really.
Or after the New Year's fireworks in London.
Oh,
That would have been awful, wouldn't it? Ugh.
I once got offered a job, but this is through the job centre, as emptying the sanitary bins for your period pads and whatnot.
Working
And I
for
was-
like PHS or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I was like, what's the wage? And they're like, minimum wage. I was like, fuck off.
Yeah, you'd want a good quid or two more an hour, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Than minimum wage to do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Empty
Nasty.
Tampax bins. Lovely.
No, thank you. Well, it's like when you go abroad and the toilets won't take the toilet paper, so you just have to throw it in the bin.
To the side, yeah, Turkey.
And you're like, yeah, Cyprus is the same, and you're like,
That's a ridiculous fucking thing to do.
So,
Yeah.
you wipe yourself and then put it in the bin instead of
It's
flushing.
going to stink the whole
What
room
fucking
out.
third world country is that in?
that's
It's in Turkey.
and Cyprus, yeah.
What?
And in fact, Gran Canaria as well. I think some parts of Spain, maybe.
Bloody hell.
They haven't got the system to cope with the toilet paper, so they have to put the toilet paper, and then when your room gets cleaned, they put,
Yeah, they come in and do it every day. It doesn't smell
unless
Well, it
you.
will for a bit, won't it?
unless you've had some. It's, mine when I was on holiday didn't stink the room out. It was.
Well, I flushed toilet paper and I had the japs, over there, had the jappy crappy because of some bad
Well, you
kebab or whatever.
Back the system up.
I don't give a crap. I mean,
You were giving lots of crap.
I did give lots of crap.
You won't give a crap when he comes back out of the toilet. Like,
well, I was just like, I can't even put that in the bin.
It's more poo than paper.
What a lovely picture. Moving on swiftly.
What about a violin string maker?
Oh, that sounds like quite a nice job, doesn't it?
Sounds like you're furthering humanity's classical education, doesn't it?
Plucking a few hairs from horses' tails.
Yeah.
What a lovely job.
It's worse than that.
What?
Prior to the 17th century's revolution in the technology of string making for musical instruments, the industry was decidedly more disgusting. In order to make strings thick enough to play lower notes on a violin, which at the time only had 3 strings, the preferred method involved twisting strands of sheep innards together. String makers would have to butcher the sheep very carefully so as not to rupture the stomach or lower intestines, and then spend painstaking hours trimming away fatty tissue, blood vessels, and muscle. Sheep
Sounds
guts.
alright.
That's not the worst job in the world at all. That's actually pretty fucking tame for bad jobs. It's no different than
I
being
don't know.
any
An
kind of
abattoir
butcher.
or a butcher.
Yeah, any kind of butchery.
Yeah,
That's no different.
Peeling away, then you're wrapping it all around against the gut.
That's pretty cool and intricate, to be fair. The fact that they fucking figured out to make violin strings out of sheep guts.
They made all sorts of
That's
sheep
pretty-
guts, didn't they? Condoms.
I think that's pretty cool, that.
That was a sheep's bladder, I think, or a pig's bladder.
I know. Well,
Unless you're Welsh, in which case you left the bladder in the sheep and just fucked the sheep.
but you know, loads of different body parts can be used for different things, can't they? That's what I'm saying. Who
Hey.
come across these things?
No waste.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the worst job. I don't think that should be on the list as worst jobs.
Well, I think that your time rooting through a sheep's guts to get the good stuff is.
You're getting paid for it, so who gives a fuck?
It's still you're getting paid to be a match, you know.
It's not one of the worst jobs, but it is still pretty shitty.
It's not a nice job,
No.
but I don't think that should be on the list as such as worst jobs.
Well,
I've done worse than that, for fuck's sake.
what about a bone grubber?
This one's nice, isn't it?
Sounds nice, doesn't it?
Victorian cities had a vast scavenging economy, and the bone grubber fell somewhere in the middle of it. These workers were scabbing rotting bones from butchers, garbage piles and stockyards, probably graveyards as well,
Oh,
and would sell them to dealers. Some of the bones would eventually be made into toothbrush handles, children's teething rings, and other personal items.
It's basically ivory, isn't it? That's what it is. It's just a different method of ivory in a roundabout way, isn't it?
Well, it's cheap ass ivory.
Yeah, it's a cheap version of ivory.
But then again, recycling again.
Children's teething rings, though, that's a bit creepy, innit?
Yeah, here our child, suck on this bone teething ring. We don't know where it's come from.
It's
Could have come,
your granddad's knuckle.
yeah, could have come from a plague pit. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
And it's like the teeth, though, isn't it? They take the teeth out the bodies, and you know, after the Battle of Waterloo, women would be walking around London in what would be known as with the Waterloo teeth in their mouth, because they'd go around the battlefield taking the teeth of the corpses, send them back home,
make themselves some dentures.
make yourself dentures.
Nice.
You'd have people with missing teeth, like in the Napoleonic British Army. Like, you'd have like 4 or 5 teeth on a denture plate, and they've got to collect some more after the battle, going for a full set.
Have you got piss collectors on here?
Probably, yeah, we have,
Okay.
yeah, the night soil guys, yeah.
That's
we'll be
where like the saying came from, and that wasn't it.
taking the piss.
Being piss poor as well,
Yes.
and taking the piss.
Mudlarks. People still mudlark, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's more of an archaeological thing now. They do refer to themselves as mudlarks. The bottom of the Victorian scavenging economy. They walked over the riverbanks collecting bits of anything overlooked by other scavengers. So you
Oh
just
my
get in
God.
you get in the fucking bits people don't want.
Oh, fuck.
No, you got magnet rowers these days, haven't you, as well?
Magnet fishing is very
Yeah.
popular. These people toiled in extreme poverty, often barefoot, in the freezing water of a city's rivers. And you can imagine what the Thames was like in Victorian London.
Lovely. I reckon it was
Oh, a
lovely
bit
for a nice,
ripped.
lovely for a nice dip.
You know, all that crap going out there, the dead bodies, rotting fish, whatever anyone's thrown in there, really.
Bit of skinny dipping wouldn't have gone amiss, would it?
'Cause people are crapping off the bridges at that point, aren't they? Still, probably. Public toilets are probably still built into the sides of the bridges.
Yeah, it just goes.
You've got all the industrial waste as well.
Yeah, because you've got the Royal Armoury smack on the river at that point as well, upriver. So they're just pumping out, throwing chemicals and shit in there.
Victorian London.
I'd go back to Victorian London, but only as like an aristocrat.
Would you be wearing a bubble?
No,
Some
no.
kind of protective bubble.
No, I'd be in a red coat with gold epaulets and a sash. So, just like the Duke of Wellington, really. Yeah, I'm not going to live in the fucking. I'm going to live with the mudlarks. I'm going to high society, mate. Tanners, probably the most disgusting job of all time. Tanners. They perform the essential work of preserving hides from cattle, pigs, and other animals for use in manufactured goods.
Did they have to do the peeling, did they?
They weren't very appealing.
No, did they have to do the peeling?
Yeah, they would probably, yeah.
Peel all the animals.
Yeah, you'd be given the hides and you'd scrape them at least.
Oh, right, okay.
You scrape all that bit of fat off from the inside, yeah.
But then you had to soak the hide in giant pits of lime to soften the hair and tissues. And then all of that would be scraped off by hand.
Oh.
Did they used to use piss as well to
Yeah.
tan?
The cleaned hide was then further re-immersed in a pit of water and dog crap to further clean and soften it. Not always dog crap, you go with what you've got.
So whatever crap you could find, really.
Yeah.
What's the crap doing then?
It kind of softens it up.
Adds texture,
That's texture.
makes it nutty.
And of course these pits were kept fermenting between batches of hides, so the Victorian tannery was one of the most revolting, wretched smelling place in history. But of course it's one of them things people need. People need leather.
It smells like shit.
It doesn't smell like shit when they sell it.
Ugh.
But where you'd have to go to the tanner with a peg on your nose.
Oh, dear. You wouldn't smell it after a while working there, would you?
You probably wouldn't, even as a visitor.
Your nose, your sense of smell would have probably burnt away after a week, to be fair. So
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't.
But I mean, think about it. It's not like Victorian London was like a very pleasant smelling place.
Sweet, rosy smelling place. No, far
I read
from
somewhere that even in New York, about the turn of the century, there was still about £30,000 of horse manure that needed to be cleaned out per day off the streets.
Yeah.
You know, it's ankle deep, and that's shit. And then you've got the piss. You know, bit of blood. You've got cattle and stuff coming through the streets because they're taking them to the markets. You know, I imagine your sense of smell was probably quite immune to it. Not that that makes it any better.
No.
Once it starts fermenting, though, that's a different kettle of fish, I think, isn't it? So that would be pretty pungent.
If we went back there,
Oh.
time travellers,
We'd be
notice
sick
it, wouldn't we?
instantly,
Yeah.
like...
Yeah,
like,
it'd be retching. Yeah.
Plus the smog.
saying that, I smelt some pretty foul fucking smells in Saudi. When you walk past some of the alleyways in Saudi Arabia, and you've got like a couple of restaurants or something with the bins that have been outside for a week or two.
Ugh.
They're honestly, there's no smell like that. I've never. The worst bin you've ever smelt in this country. Times it by 10. I'm not exaggerating. So I've probably smelt some similar kind of wretched smells before. 50-degree heat
Eesh.
and whatever in the bins decaying for a week or 3. Yeah,
Nah.
not nice.
Well, moving away from smell,
Yay!
the whipping boy. Is some doubt about this is a real thing or not, but stories tell of boys who are educated with princes or child kings and received the punishments earned by their betters.
Because they couldn't punish the prince or the child king, so royalty, you can't touch him.
You can't whip them.
So he has a little
So
mate.
if they were naughty, you'd whip his mate.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's a commoner.
And that was where the whipping boy
Yeah,
came from.
and it was hoped that you'd hope that the prince or the child king wasn't a psychopath.
Cared enough about his
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
Or at least enough, or
It
at
might not
least...
even be his mate. He might just be like, that's the whipping boy.
Well, they become friends. And
That's
because
what
they
you
hang about.
want to make.
So it's
them
actually
friends.
it's actually quite a good job in that way. You know, you're a childhood friend of the future king.
You
Yeah.
probably get treated quite well
Yeah.
compared to a lot of kids would.
I mean, you might end up, like, getting a lordship or something.
Yeah.
Or at least being looked after in your later life, which is...
Might have a few scars on your arse.
You may, but then again, you'd be a fucking tough bastard, wouldn't you?
Depends how naughty the prince or princess
Exactly.
was,
That's
I
it.
guess.
If he is a psychopath and he doesn't care about you at all,
Then he's just gonna... If you've got a Joffrey...
I was
Yeah.
about to use Joffrey as an example.
If you've got a Joffrey, you're
Yeah.
probably gonna die.
You don't want to be the whipping boy at all, do you?
No. No, you don't. Ooh, no. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it's because it gets your family in with the royal family, doesn't it? I mean, especially if you're just some commoners.
At what age
Yeah.
do you not be the whipping boy then?
I guess
When
when
he's
I'd imagine
16,
16, yeah.
When he's old enough to not be...
When he takes
Told
the
off.
crown properly. I guess. 16 usually for a man back then, wasn't it? Like, we all own something that's made of wool. Wool fullers. They soften the cloth using human waste.
No.
Fullers who worked throughout history from ancient Rome to 15th century England. Untreated wool is oily, greasy and dirty and has a coarse and scratchy finish that's way too harsh to wear. But back in the day, fullers used to soften the fibres by trampling over them in vats filled with aged urine.
Oh.
So if you know anybody with the surname Fuller, you say, alright, pissy feet.
You could indeed say that, yeah. As a side note though, old pee was used for everything.
Yeah, it really was. You can make explosives with it and all sorts.
Ammonia, they build up a gas, isn't it? Of course, it really did banish the grease from the wool, which is great. But it also means that someone's going to spend 8 hours a day tramping up and down in a bucket of piss.
And then someone's got to wash them.
Yeah. I suppose, I don't know, I don't like it.
No, thankfully that
You'd have lovely soft feet though.
doesn't exist anymore.
What about an arming squire?
So hold on, what do they use to soften wool now then?
No idea, probably chemicals.
Some
Chemical
chemical
ammonia or
version
something.
of
Yeah,
it.
it's a machine that does it, I guess.
And a stomper.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are in the world.
Because I bet there's still parts of the
Yeah.
world that still do it just
Yeah.
like that.
Probably is. Arming squires, in charge of keeping a knight's armour up to scratch, even while he was using it.
Yeah, because you can have malfunctions, I should imagine, isn't it?
Well, it's very much like a Formula 1 car, a pit lane.
Right.
You know, so he's the medieval equivalent of that. His job involves maintaining, fixing and applying a knight's armour, sometimes mid-battle. So if he loses a piece of armour, he's got to rush out with a replacement bit, get it on, strap it into place. The knight's presumably going to duck back or try to duck back a little bit. If he can't...
That's a bit of a risky business.
It is a risky business.
I'm not down for this one.
They've got no armour themselves, of course.
Yeah, but think how many times you're in battle, not that often.
Mm.
I mean, I'd rather be doing that than the bucket of piss.
I don't know, Mike. I mean, you're traipsing around medieval France with the English army following your knight, getting dysentery, suffering all the hardships, camping in the rain.
At least you get to see the world,
Well, you get to see a bit of northern France.
rather than...
Unless he goes on the Crusades, in which case you get to see a bit of that bit. So then you have to sweat your balls off in 50-degree heat.
Either way, shit job.
Yeah.
And the cleaning fluid you're given is not great, is it?
No, it's piss.
Oh, right, okay.
You've got to remove the blood, sweat, mud, other mess, bits of body tissue.
You've got to keep their armour sparkly clean.
Yeah, because it's all about his reputation, isn't it? If you're not doing a good enough job, he's going to beat the shit out of you. But one day you might get to be a knight. Because in theory, he should be teaching you how to fight as well. Because no one's a 40-year-old squire.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'd be dead by then. It's a medieval period. I wouldn't fancy that one, although it's still not as bad. It's not as bad as the vomit collector or the tanner. But still, wouldn't fancy cleaning bits of body out of me mate.
No,
boss's
I think it's
armour.
one of the best we've been through so far.
A pure finder.
Because that's quite a recent one, isn't it? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it makes you think, fuck you now.
So obviously, dog poo used as a drying agent by tanneries, and the rules of supply and demand mean that collecting dog poo became a full-time job for people called pure finders who roam their area on the hunt for dog droppings.
Why call them pure finders,
Yeah.
I
though?
don't know.
Trying to entice people into the job, isn't it?
They didn't like the name of dog shit collector,
No.
did they?
We weren't getting many applications.
The job was certainly dirty, but it was a very profitable and often enviable enterprise at the beginning before competition became too fierce. And then you've got people fighting over dog shit in the streets, I'd imagine.
But why was it dirty, right? Because in them days, they had wheelbarrows of such. of
How'd you get it in the
sorts.
wheelbarrow?
Well, some sort of shovel.
And if you
of
haven't got a
some
shovel?
sort. Well, you get one, don't you? You use your
And what if
first
you haven't?
wages to buy one.
And if you haven't,
Well,
what
then
are
you
you
use your
using?
fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the savvy fucking shit collector gets a shovel from somewhere.
With shovels with a leaf. Or some
Or
sort of
uses some.
I'd make
a
something
couple
out
of
of
sticks. Couple of fucking sticks. A pair of tongs out.
Or you're messing around
sticks.
fixing your stick, someone's come in, grabbed it with their hands and thrown it on their cart.
Yeah, see you later.
It's competition. They
Well,
want
I'm
that.
clean, so I don't care.
Why don't you just shit in your own car and say it's dog shit? Are they going to know the difference?
How much shit are you shitting a day?
Start taking it
This
from
is
the.
Ben we're talking to.
Start taking it from the because it's open sewers. It's in medieval times. They're just throwing their shit out on the street.
When you collect that, yeah. But
Take
you just
that.
do your own. You ain't gonna get very far, are you?
No, my shits are quite big.
Fucking hell. King Kong shit, so.
Bigger than King Kong's first dump of the day. Leech collecting.
Not pleasant.
Not so messy, but certainly a bit shit.
Bit bitey.
You don't feel the bite on a leech, do you?
You feel it when you pull it off, don't you?
Yeah.
Still a bit bitey though.
Oh,
You
definitely.
don't really feel it, I think, when you put it off, do you? Because they use antiseptic, don't they?
Nowadays.
I thought they used
No,
to
the
let,
leeches do.
thought the
Anaesthetic.
Yeah.
I thought the leeches let go when they're full.
They
So
can
they
do
do,
that.
yeah.
Say you were collecting.
Or when they get burned.
You should never burn them. They vomit.
That's right.
put something back
into
into
you,
you,
yeah.
don't they?
So the work is these leech collectors used to walk into leech-filled ponds and usher the little suckers into buckets.
Yeah, you're going to become a victim of many leeches.
You
as
certainly
well,
are.
Yeah.
And that's the point. They're going to stick to your legs before you get them in a bucket.
Yeah.
People would like pass out and stuff because the leeches would just be draining their blood for most of the day.
Crikey.
Need more leeches.
More leeches.
Got no
I
energy, more
thought
blood gone.
I thought bloodletting was good for you. Oh, look a bit peaky. Better get a leech on him. Because they use leeches now.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
For certain things that
Yeah.
they know leeches are good for, at least.
Stops the blood coagulating,
Clot, yeah.
doesn't it? Clotting.
Thing is, I mean, bloodletting was hugely popular back in the 18th century. It's like, oh, I'm not feeling too peaky, bleed me.
Pop to the barbers, get a haircut,
Get
and a
bled.
quick bleed.
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
That bit of blood out.
Yeah, see our medieval medicine episodes.
Well, yeah. That's true. We went through that. But yeah, so they just ended up passing out sometimes because the leeches have drained all the blood out their legs.
Yeah, it's not a good job, is it?
No. Nitpicking.
Tis what it says on the tin, I believe, isn't it?
Yep. Wigs, hugely popular at the time. Everyone had a powdered wig. Everyone could afford it. You know, the big white things, curly things going on. And lice often made their home in these kills, living off the dead skin that was trapped in the fibres.
Can I just say about them wigs? Whoever thought that they looked good?
Fashion changes, mate.
I know, but come on.
I know, yeah, I've always thought that. I was like, why did, back then they couldn't wash their own hair, so why did they put some more hair on top of the hair that they couldn't even wash?
How ridiculous
And
putting
get
fake hair on your head.
Yeah.
Adding hair that's not your own
And then
hair.
getting the nits.
How
I needed a
ridiculous.
nitpicker.
How
Merkins is a different matter. That's
Merkins.
fine. That's perfectly fine.
No, they did look silly, didn't they, those things?
They did,
I
didn't
bet it
they?
started off with a bald guy or something, and he had one, and they were like, oh right,
Well, it would have been the king or
The
somebody
king or
high up
something,
that
yeah.
did it. And then everyone copies them, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
The bigger the barnet, the more higher standing you
Yeah,
were, or
that's what
something, I think,
was,
wasn't
wasn't
it?
it?
Well,
Ridiculous.
men have always been looking for a way to cover up their balding spots. You know, Caesar's, the laurel wreath that Caesar wore, he didn't wear that because he was the emperor. He wore it because, number one, it looked like he was the emperor, it was fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, he was receding. And the laurel wreath covered up the sides of his head where he was receding. That's why all the Roman emperors wore that, because Caesar was balding. You know,
Yeah.
so never underestimate
So
the male
everyone,
ego.
everyone wore them wigs because the king was balding. One.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it went something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, I wouldn't fancy sitting there combing through someone's wig.
No.
Getting the nits out.
Because you know they've got nits anyway, and you've got nits. It's a never-ending job.
Keeps you in a job.
It certainly does. Well, if you have ever looked down the back of your sofa for some misplaced coins, the work of a tosher, was basically a far grosser version of that. Replace the word sofa with sewer and coins for rags and scrap metal.
Ah.
This is probably the worst one, isn't it?
Rags that people probably wipe their ass with.
I'd rather be the ones on the side of the river, innit, than these ones.
Yeah, this is the sewer.
I know.
Fucking.
Oh, look, he's got like a sieve.
And let's not forget the rats. Let's not forget those giant black pigs that were trotting around in 18th century London living in the sewer. See the Sewer Monsters episode?
Yeah, yeah.
The fatbergs.
The fatbergs.
You want to be
Probably-
crushed for one of them.
Oh,
Probably
I
weren't
don't
an
think
issue
fat-
in them
nah,
days.
There would be fat
Yeah,
birds
well, they would
back
have chucked
then.
fat down there.
Yeah, but not
Sewers.
to the, you know.
The extent of now.
Yeah.
They didn't have deep fat fryers and shit like that in them days, did they?
They'd have cooked him fat though, wouldn't they?
Not so much.
19th century London, do you reckon they got chip shops then?
No.
19th century London, real mishmash of extreme wealth and extreme poverty. While some residents were struggling to eat, others were accidentally throwing their riches down the toilet in the form of dropped coins and misplaced
I'm always
trinkets.
dropping my trinkets down the toilet.
You wealthy bastard! You've got trinkets! Groups of toshers began to scavenge the sewers in search of flushed finances, metal and rags, often led by an experienced elderly pro who knew every nook and cranny of London's grimiest gold mine.
Oh, God.
So is that like a Fagin, like a bunch of Cockney... You're not lovable Cockney pickpockets anymore, you're toshers, get down that sewer.
It's
Yeah.
a sewer Fagin.
Sewer Fagin, yeah.
Yeah.
Technically illegal this job, but the pay was good. Apparently up to $20,000 a year in today's money.
Cool. That's alright, isn't it?
But average, innit? Just under.
You could make an average living wage. Well, not even that now, is it? But you could make a living wage basically on it.
Right, down the sewers tomorrow then.
Oh god, you're gonna get crushed by a fatberg.
So I can find.
A couple of giant gators.
On to my ancestors,
Yeah.
the plague bearers, the carters, first middle class, mate.
First middle class.
Of course they were, 'cause like
They're in demand.
in demand, supply and demand. You need a body shifting, I've got a cart. Pay up. I'm not dead yet. Shut up, you will be soon. Burials have been organised by community leaders like church wardens pre-plague, but obviously that workload spiralled well out of control after the disease stormed into London and Britain. Let's face it, 60% of the population of Britain died.
Fucking hell.
As a result, the government hired plague bearers in July of 1665, and their job was to search for, carry and bury the plague dead. And they were housed in churches to keep them separate from the rest of society.
I wouldn't want to touch them. Would anyone else want to touch them?
No.
I'm hoping my ancestors had them really sweet ass fucking plague masks with the beak.
Well, the doctors had them.
Yeah, but these you got the money, you buy them. Carrying a scented apple in their pocket, an scented orange in their pocket. Do you ever have to make one of them in primary school?
No.
No.
Oh, I did. I remember it. We did the plague in primary school. The great. We went to some medieval house or something like that. They had us make these oranges. You had to stuff like cloves and herbs into, and that was meant to protect. We had to walk around with that because it was all role play. You know, they've come fleeing from the plague kind of thing. You know. Yeah, that was interesting. But anyway, yeah. Apart from the obvious risk of infection, the plague bearers also had to contend with the unquenchable stench and fest of endless corpses. You know what? Think of that fucking money.
Oh, I just want to. What would you do? You wouldn't want to go near him in case you got the plague, would you? You don't know whether it's.
Well, yeah.
You know.
They're handling the plague bodies, aren't they?
Yeah.
How was it? How was it past time?
Fleas.
Yeah. The fleas will probably be on the dead bodies and jump on you. I imagine a lot of them probably got the plague. That's why they're constantly in demand.
That's why stubbornness is a family trait.
Dangerous job then.
Yeah, I'd say so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would say so. But at least
handling dead bodies is pretty
Anyway,
dangerous
yeah.
anyway. But
especially when there's the plague trying around, the Black Death. Oh, not everyone got it. That's the thing. Just 60% of the people died from it. But it was like we'll do a series on the plague one day because it is quite interesting.
I'm a bit unsure why you didn't just drag the body out into the street and burn it there and then.
Christian burials.
I know, yeah, but you know, we've got something on our hands here that isn't, you know.
They didn't know, did they? They didn't know how it transmitted. They didn't know where it came from. They just thought it was bad smells.
It was a choice between bad smells, the Jews poisoning the water. God, well, there's loads. Mainly the miasma. It was, you know, when you see a field at night and it gets that low forming fog.
Yeah.
That's like a miasma, they used to call that, and that was what caused it.
That's what they think.
That's what they thought caused it.
Cool.
Yeah. Still, cars in demand. It's probably that's where my name comes from, in all fairness.
I imagine so. Yep.
Those business savvy fuckers. Do anything for a quick buck. Alright, if you were a social climber in the Royal Court of England, you probably aspired to attain the coveted position of the groom of the stool.
You comb the king's poop.
No, you have sex with it after talking to it for a while online. The position was invented by Henry VIII, of course it was.
Henry VII.
Oh, Henry VII, sorry. Yeah. Of course it was. Got to be a Tudor. During his reign, to oversee pretty much every aspect of his bowel movements.
Well, it's to do with his poo. I didn't think it was, but
yeah,
it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, from addressing the king's diet to witnessing the act itself. So you've got to stand next to him when he has a shit, and then you've got to have a look at his shit to see if it's healthy
Very
or not.
good, sir.
Very good, sir. Nice and solid, nice solid kingly log, that one. Would you make a little paper crown and put it on it? Oh, it's not flushing, is it? It's just... I suppose you do it in the chamber pot and you take it out and empty it.
Yeah.
But you put a little paper crown on ones that are particularly nice. Oddly enough, the job was considered highly prestigious. After all, you get to spend one-on-one time with royalty.
Yeah.
In his most intimate position.
You are literally his newspaper. Or whatever it is you choose.
And protector, because you're in a pretty vulnerable position
You're
when you're having a chat.
Never more vulnerable when you're shitting.
And you're an influencer to the king.
Yeah.
You've got his ear.
Literally, you've got no one else is in that room with you.
Yep. You've got the privacy of the king every day.
You'd have to entertain him though, wouldn't you?
You've got to entertain him, that's the thing, because if you're in there...
His balls while he's having a shit.
No.
Why did you go straight to tickling his balls? Just be witty, have some conversation.
I guess you do whatever he told you to do.
Yeah.
What do you think about war with France, my lord, my liege?
I don't know. Tickle my balls.
Oh, God. Mike, you do have a bit of Henry VIII about you with that beard, with that red beard.
How many wives have you executed so far?
Yeah, Mike, where is your fifth wife?
No comment.
Who's that new person?
You'll never find the heads. I mean...
I suppose that's it, you can influence his political decisions. Yeah. And shockingly, the royal was still going strong until 1901, when Edward VII ended the practice. Although if that's the same Edward VII I'm thinking of, he used to spend a lot of time in a brothel in Paris and invented a fellatio chair.
I thought that was Henry VIII that did the old fellatio chair.
No, it's well, it could be, but they've definitely got... I'm sure they've got one of his in a museum somewhere.
Fellatio.
I think he might have invented a particular style of fellatio chair. You get 3 people on it.
Yeah.
So you got a chair, and the bloke sat in the chair, right?
And then it's got like an angled up bit here.
Yeah, for them to kneel on to get to suck.
Yeah.
And behind that, on some of them, there's like little padded knee rests, leg rests, for them to lean in and lick whoever's giving the blowjob.
Interesting.
First human centipede.
Effectively, yes.
A 69er machine then.
Kind
It's not a
of.
machine. It's just a piece of furniture.
Yeah, or sometimes
You got one?
if it's a,
Yes.
or if you're in for a bit of rimming, you could get ones where you lie underneath their ass, I guess.
Yeah. They're into all sorts, aren't they?
Not when you're the groom of the stool, though.
I bet you get invited to one of Edward VII's orgies.
You don't want to be licking his ass.
Oh no, you wouldn't be licking his ass. Although technically, I guess it is your job to clean him. Because I bet he's not wiping himself.
Oh,
Well, of course not.
No.
Wipe now, Jeeves.
With your tongue, Jeeves.
I didn't appreciate your suggestion about invading France. Use your tongue.
They had royal cloth, weren't they? A bit of silk for the
Yes.
king, surely.
Your dancing did not please me.
How big's the toilet?
Probably fucking big. This is the king in a royal palace.
Yeah.
But it's probably like the size of this flat.
If they did it now, would you have a large toilet and a stripper pole in front of the toilet so you can just sit there and have a lap dance?
Yep. Why not?
You know, the king.
Might be hard to take a shit because you'd be concentrating on other things probably.
Well, you'd be wanting to get it out of the way, wouldn't you?
Moving swiftly.
I'm
on.
going to the toilet, bring my toilet strippers. It's good to be the king. Alright, I think we've got plenty plenty more to come, to be fair, and look at the time. I think we'll to make this a two-parter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan.
We got some fucked up facts instead though, Mike?
Yep. Theme
Alright.
tune, please.
Are we actually going to get the theme tune this week?
Yeah. My voice has recovered.
Facts, fucked up facts.
Beautiful. 16th century astronomer Tycho Brahe had a pet moose who died when he fell down the stairs drunk.
Ah.
Who the
pet
moose
was
the
drunk.
moose was drunk and
Yeah.
fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
Ah.
This is a Finnish guy, you say?
No. Danish.
Danish. Well, they're quite mad at times.
Yeah.
They were mad. They're not so mad nowadays, are they, the Danes? Like they got it all out of their system in the Middle Ages.
This same guy used to host parties and have dwarves carrying drinks trays, didn't they, and things like that.
Didn't he have a golden nose?
He did. He had a golden nose as well.
Golden nose. What?
Yeah, he like lost his nose somehow, and he had like a jewel.
With swords, yeah.
Yeah, his nose cut off in a jewel. That's it. So he had a golden prosthetic made. He was a mad. It wouldn't surprise me he would get his pet moose drunk. I think everyone was drinking booze then.
And he died because his bladder burst.
The moose.
No, the astronomer.
Oh.
Because he was too... It wasn't etiquette to leave the table. He needed a piss real bad and held it in too long.
Ah,
And I killed him.
Wow.
It wasn't etiquette to leave the table.
clever.
Can I actually throw in a fucked up fact?
Yep.
Have a guess the last time the Great Wall of China was defended with nothing but swords, spears and martial arts.
Oh.
10 years ago.
No.
I don't know.
1933
Oh, right.
against the Japanese. Found that out today. I was like, wow.
Because it's the Indians and the Chinese, isn't it, that fight with sticks?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, they're not allowed firearms on the border, so they hit
Yeah.
each other. They can have blades.
Yeah. They say they have hand-to-hand combat fights on
That's
the border.
fair. It's more fair, I think.
If someone breaks a gun, it's an international incident. And obviously, if a soldier gets shot. But if he's all got his body armor and his helmet on, and he's got like a fucking machete, he's probably not going to die.
I've always found it a bit fairer, you know, hand-to-hand combat, innit? Your people are better than their people. The only thing that I didn't find fair about back in the day is if that army turns up with like X amount of thousand, and the other people have only got like 1,000. That's
Well,
not. It should be.
that's a general sort of hazard of fighting a battle, though, isn't it? Being outnumbered.
Well, no, I think
You can
I
o-
think
you can
a
only
good
bring-
battle
we
should
can-
be like, well, we'll put our 1,000 men in, you'll put your 1,000 men in.
But if I've got 30,000 men, why should I care what you think?
Because I'm going to conquer you and kill you.
Exactly,
in a
I'm going to
minute,
kill you
so-
all. You can join me or die. I'm a conqueror. I've got a vast
Well,
army behind me.
I think it should be more like, you know, more,
One-on-one.
well, no, more like a game. Like I'll put my best 1,000 men in, you put your best, and we'll
Winner
you know,
takes all.
winner takes the land or whatever you know. They could have done it like that back in the day and
They-
saved a lot of lives.
There
People-
probably was a bit of that though, wasn't there?
They did used to. Well, all right. Let's go through it.
Honourable
Let's
battles.
unpack it. You'd have your champions who will go out and sort the whole thing out. So your best guy. They have a fight. One dies. We'll fuck off. You know, they do it that way. You win, kind of thing. If you were doing the Middle Ages, you might have a lethal tournament with your opposite number knights.
Yeah.
Right, so you 50, say it's 15 on one side and 20 on the other, to make it honourable because it's it's tournament rules but with death.
Yeah.
You know, okay, we'll send those 5 guys back, and we'll have 15 on 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would save a lot of hassle, Claire. But then you just do the champions thing, couldn't you? But if my 1,000 guy, if I've got another 29,000 dudes, and I've just killed like most of your guys, it's going to stop me taking what I want anyway. Is there?
I know, yeah, that's bully tactics and...
Join me or die. If you'd have joined me, there wouldn't be this problem. Right, go on then, Mike, sorry.
Next fact.
Yep.
In 2022, the average speed of a car in central London was around 9 miles per hour.
Wow, I was going to say 8, so yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
In 1908, the average speed of a horse-drawn carriage was around 10 miles per hour. That's progress for you.
Man. So what happens if you get a horse and carriage in central London nowadays?
9 miles an hour.
Nah. I was just going to razz through between lanes.
Just get one of the electric push bikes and just do like 15, 20 mile an hour everywhere. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And get in and out all the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous as fook,
Mm.
but kind of fun.
One species of African crocodile moves like a cow. That'd be disconcerting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Moves like a cow.
Moose.
Oh, moves like a cow.
I thought you said moves.
Moves like a cow.
Because you'd be there, like, laying in your tent, and you'd hear this, you think, oh, there's some cows
It's a friendly
nearby.
little cow.
And then the next thing you know, he's got your foot and he's dragging you out.
Yeah.
Snap, snap.
Dragging you into the fucking river.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
Some very big teeth you've got, Mr. Cow.
Someone fly a helicopter over so they're all start fucking.
Mm. In the Middle Ages, Oxford students were so violent that they made the city England's murder capital.
Where, sorry?
In Oxford in the Middle Ages, students, the murder rate was about 50 times higher than in English cities today.
Wow. All those toffs, all those oiks.
Yeah.
Do you think that was Jules as well?
Must have been.
Must have been.
Mainly.
You should bring back Jules. Things would be a lot easier.
I challenge thee to a duel.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
You get
Looking.
your glove out and...
Yeah.
You can. A glove slap would obviously mean that that's like to the death.
Ooh.
I think. I don't know if it did, but I think a glove slap is sufficient humiliation that it's to the death. Would you go pistols or swords?
Swords.
Yeah, me too.
More civilised.
Yeah. Lightsabers preferably.
We haven't got real lightsabers.
No, but in the future, maybe we will have, and we can bring Julian back.
I don't think we will.
I don't think we're that far off lightsabers, are we?
The guy at Disney, I'm sure they've made one. It doesn't obviously just cut through everything, but they've made it so you can hold the hilt and the beam of light stays. I'm sure they have.
Nah, I don't think they'll ever make them.
They should do.
Nah, we're dangerous without them. Just imagine what it could cause.
The gangs of London with them.
Well, you don't give them to everybody.
Take a different
Yeah, you
fucking
don't give
step
them
to
only the
knife
Jedi,
crime.
obviously.
No, they're a dangerous
No,
cult.
because Mike would have one apparently.
Because they're a dangerous cult who kidnap children. You know, Jedi and Vice Chancellor.
Like Palpatine.
Because I'd be a Sith.
And they don't enslave children and turn them into stormtroopers, do they?
No.
No, they get clones, don't they?
No, not later on. They take
So-
children.
Anyway, enough of the spoilers of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
The fact, unlike most Western homes, the value of houses in Japan depreciates by an average of half every 10 years.
Wow.
Because of the building's old, or...
I don't know why. I'm assuming they must have a decreasing population and
They have.
yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese could be in
There's
the
a lot of
future
houses-
extinct as a race.
Yeah, there's a lot of houses on the market. So there's more supply than demand.
Let's go move to Japan.
Do you think there might be a...
Yeah, but then your house is going to be worth...
Don't matter, you got a house.
Do you think that there might be a tech aspect
Cheap.
to it?
Yeah, that's what you're saying. But it's not an investment, is it?
No, but it's somewhere to live.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a tech aspect to it? The Japanese are quite tech savvy, aren't they? The older your house, the less likely it is to support the gadgets that you want
Potentially.
without doing like significant renovation to it. You know, something like that maybe. I don't know. It's an
They're
angle.
going to have to take a movement of, like, as a people, aren't they, to overcome that issue, whatever it is,
They need to start fucking is what they need to do.
In a 2016 survey, Americans were asked which famous non-presidential figure they would like to see added on the 5th face on Mount Rushmore?
Oh, go on. I'm going to say The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Schwarzenegger.
No, I haven't got either of those.
Britney Spears.
I don't know the full list. All I know is that Donald Trump ranked 5th.
Never.
Okay, he wasn't president at the time,
No.
so...
Below Jesus Christ,
No, we don't want that.
Jesus, that's a bit much, isn't it?
but above Mickey Mouse.
Ah. I don't know if I'd want Mickey Mouse fucking cahoring at me from fucking Mount Rushmore. Have you ever seen that from quite far
So
out
who's
as a
the most,
picture?
then?
It looks fucking
I don't know.
hideous.
Is it?
What
Yeah.
does it say?
No.
Who would you have?
Like them lot.
Ky-
Mickey
I'd,
Mouse.
I'd have Kylie Minogue.
No, which American would you have?
Australia.
Any American you could have. Which one? Who wasn't president? Which one would you
Jennifer Aniston.
Kylie Minogue's ass.
have? Still an Australian ass.
Jennifer Aniston.
You'd have Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. But it would have to be like, not just the head. Like
It's only the head.
the full body statue of her.
It's only the head. Sorry, you only get the head.
She's a very pretty woman.
All he
Or,
wants is the head.
or Sandra Bullock.
All right. Anyone else got to throw one out there? That's...
I don't think it's going to be a female. They're going to put another
Gary
male head.
Busey.
Gary Busey. Imagine doing them teeth.
I was gonna
20
say
men
this-
today died when they fell off Gary
I
Busey's
was
front
going to say
laptop.
there's not enough cliff for them teeth, is there? There's not enough spare cliff, definitely not.
Is Lincoln on there? On Mount Rushmore?
I can't remember.
No.
his name.
No, I don't think so.
That's a shame. I wanted Lincoln's bodyguard looking at him dreamily, so they'd always be together.
Charlie Sheen then.
Charlie Sheen it is. Samuel L. Jackson doing that weird wide-eyed stare he does.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson. Everyone loves Samuel L. Jackson.
He's in everything. You might as well put him on Mount
That's
Rushmore.
it,
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
He'd be the first black man on Mount Rushmore as well.
Yeah. Although I'd definitely go Arnie, maybe Sly.
See, I
Not
think
American
Barney-
though, is he, Arnie?
Well,
He's
he's
an
an American
adopted
citizen.
He's an adopted American.
Mm.
He was governor of California, for God's sake.
Yeah. The
He should've
Governator.
been- He would have been a good president, I think.
I think, but because he was not British, because he's not American
Mm.
born, can't be, can he?
Bit of a daft law, really,
It is,
considering
isn't
the
it?
first founding fathers wouldn't technically aren't American
No.
citizens.
I think
Weren't
he-
American citizens,
I
were
think
they,
he-
when they were born?
He'd make a good president, he would have.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit past it now, maybe.
I don't know. I've
He's
a
still
few
savvy.
interviews recently.
He's
with
still
him.
savvy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
He's a Republican as well.
he is a Republican, but and he doesn't like Trump, does he?
No.
Does not like Trump. I mean, have you ever seen? Did you see that documentary on him on Netflix?
Yeah,
The drive that man has, Jesus.
yeah. Amazing.
Never experienced anybody with that level of drive in my entire life.
The New Zealand Symphony Orchestra has teamed up with a local chicken farm
Right?
to play chicken-friendly music to improve the lives of chickens.
Have they got nothing better to do?
How do they know that it's chicken friendly?
That's a valid point.
That's it. I
Because
guess
the
it's trial and error.
The chickens either lay lots of eggs and are all happy,
Yeah.
or they don't.
They're pecking each other and
Yeah.
Having cockfights.
Riot.
Yeah. Chicken riot.
Put some like heavy rock on and they're like pecking each other's eyes out.
Mosh pit.
Well, I need to know whether chickens like Mozart now.
Bet there's a study on it. Google it later.
Have the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra not got many fucking gigs lined up or something?
Clearly not.
Okay, final fact.
Go on then.
Can anyone guess how many parking spaces there are in the US?
745,443.
Nope.
That's
Higher.
millions, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be like, I don't know, 500 million.
Higher.
Whoa.
Why?
Whoa.
Because there's only 300 odd million people
I
that
know,
live
yeah.
there.
A billion.
Higher.
Higher than
Fuck
a billion.
off.
3 billion.
No, not higher than 3. Lower.
2.
Yeah, 2 billion.
So 2 billion parking spaces for
50 million
350 million.
Times that by 2.
And that's people.
Yeah, times... Well, you're probably looking more about 380 million by now, aren't you?
How many cars are in there?
Or nearly 400 million.
Yeah, alright. So say,
times that by 2 for cars, yeah?
what, every person has
every-
2 cars?
I think every family usually has 2 cars.
Yeah, but
And the kids
Family
learn to
might be
drive
5
younger.
people.
yeah, but there's that 380 million Americans isn't 380 million families.
No, I'm just saying it's a rough estimate. Times it by 2.
Times it by 2.
Every household's got a car.
That's still only 700 million.
Exactly, and then so.
Yeah, but why would you times it by 2?
Just thinking every household has at least one car, and you obviously some don't, some
But
do,
think
some
you've
have
got
more. You have
parking
an average.
spaces.
Yeah, but 380 million.
You got
Divide that by say 3, because the average family, say mum, dad, one child. Yeah, so you divide that 380 million by 3, so 130 million, call it. So that's 130 million cars.
There's more cars than that in America, I'm telling you. Kids learn to drive in school.
Alright, call it 300 million then, because most of the people driving.
I still think people. Oh, there's.
But either way, 300 million, there's 2 billion.
But
That's
you've got to have
ridiculous.
parking space where they live, parking space where they work, parking space where they shop, parking space where they...
Hospital car
Yeah,
parking,
hospital.
airport car
Well,
parking.
you could probably say the same for us. We've probably got a lot more parking
We've probably
spaces
got about
than.
500 million.
We've probably got more spaces than people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's probably not surprising when you think of it like that.
God, they'll just allocate a sort of car parking space one day and we'll just have to live in it.
I would just think of all that wasted space just for parking cars. 'Cause they're not all using it. Like you say, there's only 100 million cars, say.
Yeah.
Mad, isn't it?
Well,
But I suppose you've got
Mm.
tourism as well, but...
Yeah, you've seen the picture, the overhead picture of SeaWorld, haven't you?
No.
The size of the car parking spaces in comparison to like the whale tanks and that. It's like this big, and then the whale tank's like that big, and all that's car parking.
Bear in mind, no one can see what you did with your hands there.
I know, yeah.
Who's listening?
There was,
Basically,
like,
the
huge
size of
expanse.
of a dinner plate and the size of a sprout. The sprout being the pool, the dinner plate being the car park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at any one point, was probably what?
Oh God,
About
Christ.
a quarter of all the... Probably less than that. I was going to say a quarter of all cars on the road at one point. They're just sitting there.
It's a lot of empty space. If you amalgamated it and put it all together, there's probably a hell of a lot of empty space, isn't there? At
So
all
we need Johnny
times.
cabs, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think that we're going to need farmland, like more farmland, and we're just tarmacking over it and parking our cars there, probably going to need that. So we need you need the Johnny cabs, don't you? Solar
that
powered,
song?
trot around.
Put up a parking lot. What's it?
We don't
Pave
know
over
what we got
paradise.
till it's gone. Pave paradise and put up a parking lot.
There you go.
And that was 30 years ago, that song.
Yeah, it was shit then, it's shit now, isn't it?
Relevant, I mean.
Great song. Great song. Great lyrics. Very poignant lyrics that are coming to fruition.
Yeah, so I was going to no more horses. Right, and on
I
that,
don't
by
even know what
garbage.
song that is.
Garbage,
Yeah,
no more
it's a garbage
horses.
song,
Great song.
Sounds like garbage to me.
Yeah, I can't even remember who sang that parking lot song.
A woman.
Well done. Right, on that bombshell, I've been Ben. Thanks for listening. Don't do the favour and don't join a cult.
yeah. I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
And I've been Claire, you open mind, but not so open.
And I've been Pete. Take care of yourselves. Till next time.